Welcome to the deep dive. Okay, so today we're really getting into Rick Riordan's Percy Jackson and the Olympians series. I mean, this stuff has totally captured so many imaginations. Our mission for this deep dive is basically to boil down the really key insights from a deep look at the series, give you like a shortcut to understanding its magic and why it sticks around.
And it absolutely deserves this focus. It's not just, popular kids' fantasy. It's genuinely become a cornerstone of contemporary lit. It does such a brilliant job reimagining Greek mythology for today. What really makes it special, I think, is how it makes these ancient stories feel so incredibly relevant now.
Absolutely. And it goes beyond just the cleverness, right? Like, okay, Mount Olympus above the Empire State Building, super
Yeah.
cool image. But what really elevates Riordan's modern mythology for me is how he uses those old stories to actually like explain things about our world now. They're an example that really shows that fusion creating deeper meaning, not just, a neat setting.
That's a really good point. It's definitely more than just background dressing. It's a lens. Think about, for instance, the whole idea of demigods having ADHD and dyslexia. Riordan reframes those as heightened battle instincts and an innate knack for reading ancient Greek. That's just genius. It takes things seen as, well, weaknesses maybe in our world and flips them into strengths within their mythological reality. That's a pretty profound insight, especially for young readers who might be dealing with those diagnoses. It gives them a sense of power.
Yeah, that's a fantastic example. So at the heart of it all, we've got Percy Jackson, kind of the classic
Yeah.
reluctant hero, right? Stumbles into finding out he's a demigod and boom, he's at Camp Half-Blood. For people who know his story, what keeps Percy so compelling even after that initial, oh my God, it's my dad's Poseidon shock wears off?
It's definitely his relatability. Across the 5 books, the series just masterfully ramps things up. Not just the mythological stakes, but Percy's own journey. You start with the lightning thief. He's basically just lost, trying to clear his name, stop the gods from warring. Then the Sea of Monsters hits closer to home, threats to his friends, to Camp Half-Blood itself. Each book builds.
Right.
The Titan's curse really grinds the world, brings in more heroes. Then Battle of the Labyrinth digs into these ancient dangers hidden like right under our feet. And it all culminates in The Last Olympian, that huge epic showdown with Kronos. You really see him grow from this kind of confused kid into a real leader, a hero, all while this world, with monsters walking around in disguise, gets richer and way more dangerous.
And it's that mix, isn't it? Our everyday world tangled up with ancient
Yeah.
myths just pulls you right in, makes the crazy stuff feel almost tangible. But I think the real staying power of the series comes down to the characters. They're so dynamic, so relatable. They feel like real people, way beyond just their godly parentage. Wouldn't you agree?
Oh, definitely. And what's fascinating here is how well Riordan crafts them. They feel complex, even though they're young. Percy himself, yeah, he's brave, sarcastic, maybe a bit impulsive.
A bit.
Okay, maybe more than a bit. But he's defined by this incredible loyalty to his friends. He'll often put them first, even before, prophecies or his own skin.
Totally.
Then you've got Annabeth Chase, daughter of Athena, right? Super smart, strategic. She complements Percy's impulsiveness perfectly. They make such a great team.
Yeah, the brains and the brawn sometimes.
Sort of. And Grover Underwood, the satyr, he's not just the funny sidekick. He's got this deep loyalty, this hopefulness. He kind of grounds them a lot. And Luke Castellan, maybe the most tragic one, his betrayal isn't just like mustache-twirling evil. It comes from this real place, misguided, sure, but this desire for justice, for recognition, adds so much depth and moral ambiguity.
It's those relationships, that depth, that really anchors all the wild, fantastical stuff.
Okay, so beyond the great characters, what about the big ideas, the universal themes that give it that emotional punch? Exactly, those themes are key. They lift it way beyond just an adventure story. Identity and belonging, that's huge. Percy and the others, they're always wrestling with being stuck between two worlds, the mortal and the divine, trying to figure out where they fit.
Right, that outsider feeling.
Precisely. Then friendship and loyalty, it's not just talk. Those bonds are literally what gets them through. It really highlights the power of chosen family.
Yeah.
The idea of family itself is central too. You see the impact of absent mortal parents, but also the massive complexities of having a god for a parent. Often pretty fraught, neglect, divine politics.
Definitely not simple.
And finally, heroism. It's shown not just as raw power or fighting skills, but through choices, sacrifice, compassion. Real strength is in your character, not just your abilities.
It's pretty amazing how those deep themes make all the gods and monsters feel so, grounded. personal draws you right in.
Okay, let's switch gears a bit. Rick Riordan's writing style itself, it's so distinct. How does he actually keep readers glued to the page, balancing all these different elements? Yeah, his narrative skill really comes through with that first-person voice. Through Percy, it's not just a gimmick. It's structural. It makes all this potentially dense mythology stuff really easy to swallow because it's filtered through Percy's relatable, often sarcastic viewpoint.
Right, the humor helps a lot.
It does. But the humor isn't only for laughs. It's kind of a coping mechanism for Percy and for the reader, too, when things get seriously intense. It makes the fantasy accessible, makes the emotional stuff hit harder, which raises an important question. How does he manage that balance, that really lighthearted tone next to these pretty dark themes, prophecy, betrayal, even death, without making the serious stuff feel, well, trivial?
That's a great question. He definitely keeps the momentum going. But speaking of structure, the review mentioned the quest format could feel a bit predictable. Do you think that predictability maybe works for younger readers? Give them a framework? Or does it eventually kind of hold the story back?
Well, yeah, the structure can feel a bit formulaic sometimes. Prophecy, quest, monster fight, resolution. But for that middle grade audience, it provides a sort of comfort, a known path, lets them focus on the characters, the jokes, and yeah, the mythology lessons.
Yeah.
And that's one of the series' biggest strengths, hands down. Riordan's knack for teaching mythology just through the story, it feels totally effortless. You're learning about Greek gods, heroes, monsters, and you don't even feel like you're being taught. It's just part of the adventure. The series gets a lot of praise, and rightly so, for its diverse characters, too, and just making mythology really accessible, weaving in bits that connect with lots of different kids.
It really is that effortless learning, isn't it? You're picking up complex Greek myths without even noticing because you're just swept up in the story. That's pretty special. So when you put it all together, what does this all mean for Percy Jackson? Its overall impact, its legacy?
Well, the core strengths are just undeniable, right? That awesome blend of modern life and ancient myth, a hero you can really root for with a strong voice, humor that works for kids and adults. The educational bit is baked right in, not forced. Plus, he built this whole universe that actually works, spinning off into Heroes of Olympus, Trials of Apollo, that shows real strength in the world building. Now, for balance, sure, there are things people point out. Some quests, yeah, they follow that pattern. Might feel repetitive to some.
Okay.
And maybe some side characters could have used a little more time compared to Percy, Annabeth, and Grover, who are just so well drawn. And sometimes, maybe later on, balancing the really dark stuff with the usual humor. It can feel a little uneven for older readers, maybe. Might lessen the emotional impact just a touch.
Still, even with those points, this series has had just a massive impact since it started coming out, 2005 to 2009? What's the significance there?
A huge significance. Millions and millions of copies sold worldwide. Spin-offs, galore books, graphic novels, movies.
And the new Disney Plus show.
Exactly. The Disney Plus adaptation, which kicked off in 2023, highly anticipated. If you connect this to the bigger picture, I mean, it literally brought Greek mythology to a whole new generation. It's a gateway series, like Harry Potter or The Hunger Games were for fantasy. It shows how a great story rooted in characters you care about and clever world building can just become part of the culture.
Yeah, absolutely. And that review's final verdict nails it. Percy Jackson and the Olympians is an exciting, witty, and heart-filled adventure series that blends myth and modernity. Gave it a fantastic 4.5 out of 5. Calls it a must-read for anyone who loves mythology, fantasy, or simply a fun and meaningful adventure. Hard to argue with that. So just to wrap it up, Percy Jackson really shines because of that clever, modern take on myth, characters you really connect with who grow, Riordan's super engaging and funny style that sneaks in learning, and, well, the huge impact it's had on so many readers.
So here's a thought to leave you with. Given how well Percy Jackson weaves ancient mythology into modern life, making it so accessible, what other foundational stories or maybe historical periods could get a similar treatment, a creative reimagining to hook new generations?
Ooh, that's a great question to chew on. We definitely encourage you to check out the series if you haven't, or just mull over that idea. Thanks for joining us on The Deep Dive.